single-family residential to C3 heavy commercial zoning classification in the city of Starbridge, C2 general commercial zoning classification to allow for future commercial use of the property. No Pacific Development Project is proposed at this time. Applicant Nathan McGarity. The property is located in land lots 50 and 79 of District 6 in the unincorporated Henry County and contains 2.63 total acres of land. And once again, parcel 071A010880003. 0.58 acres. Henry County zoning classification R3, single-family residential to C3 highway commercial. Parcel 071A010890000 contains 0.53 acres. Henry County zoning classification R3, single-family residential to C3 highway commercial. Parcel 071A0109000 0.72 acres, Henry County zoning classification R3 single-family residential and C3 highway commercial. And parcel 071A010910000 0.79 acres, Henry County zoning classification R3 single-family residential. Mr. Anderson, please.
Good evening, Mayor. Gordon Linton, Senior Planner on my staff, will be presenting these items.
All right. All right, Gordon, have at it, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. As mentioned, my name is Gordon Linton, Senior Planner for the City of Stockbridge. I'm here to present the cases for Annexation 24-01, CP 2404, and RC 2404 for the parcels located on the southeastern corner of Patrick Henry Pkwy and Holloway Road. So the applicant is Mr. McGarity. The owner is Holloway Jodico Property Partners, LLP, Sadie B. McGarity, and Nathan and Etel for parcels 071A0108890 and 071A019,000 and 071A1091,000. The number of acres is 2.6. The address is located at the Patrick Henry Pkwy and Holloway Road. Currently, the properties are vacant, and they have a county land use designation of low density and a land use zoning of C3. And this is these are the 4 parcels located. The key points for the annexation is that it was contiguous with the 77 and 87 Holloway Road, which is further up north, and that was approved last year. And it was by Holloway, 25 Holloway Road, which is to the east. And staff recommends approval for that. And this is the presentation for CP 2404. And this is to assign the future land use designation of high density mixed use once the properties have been annexed into the city. And this is the definition for the high density mixed use, which is intended for commercial areas located around the major intersections, future development and redevelopment, which should focus on making these areas more pedestrian-oriented, and is characterized by mixed-use developments incorporated mostly commercial with some office tenants and high-density residential uses. The area this will allow for larger than 3-story buildings, combining street-level commercial, retail, office uses with the other stories accommodated offices or lofts, apartment, or condos. And this is the surrounding land use designation. You have properties to the north, which is Henry County, high-density residential, as well as Stockbridge. Properties to the south, which is mixed use. Properties to the east, which is low-density residential. And properties to the west, which is mixed use and high-density mixed use. And staff recommends approval for the comp plan. And the presentation for RC 24-04 is to assign the zoning district of C2 once the properties have been annexed into the city limits. The key points is that it's surrounded by C2, C1, and C3, Henry County, and C2 to the south, which is Captain D's for the Stockbridge, and it's consistent with the policies and goals of the UDC and the intent of the C2. And staff recommends approval with the conditions. There shall be no egress or ingress onto Holloway Road, In addition, the access shall be located off the shared joint easement with the gas station, and there shall be a heavy landscaping with the side that abuts the residential neighborhoods. And that's it.
All right, so what,
Ann Fields, 329 Chase Marion Way, McDonough, unincorporated Henry. In regards to Comprehensive Plan Amendment CP 2024-04, I'm not understanding, as Ms. Gant had mentioned, took the words right out of my mouth, and thank you. Why pass this approved comprehensive plan if we do not know the intentions here? It seems like a head start towards a disaster that would impact our housing values, very possibly, and have a negative impact on our housing values. And in regards to the rezoning RZ 2024-04, again, we don't have the intended use or development for this development. We would like the opportunity to see what the development is and how this is going to impact our neighborhood. We also need counsel, and of course, you're all very aware of SPLOST, and I fought very hard to get the widening of Patrick Henry put into this SPLOST 6 for our district in Henry County. And thank goodness it did pass, because we desperately need the widening. So right-of-way, as we know, is included in some of the developments, but there still isn't a master design for the intersection of Holloway and Patrick Henry. And right now, we don't have a three-way stop, which is becoming evident that we're going to be needing this three-way stop. As you come around the little bend and you hit the Holloway intersection, it's so bad right there, and it's just getting worse. No traffic study is going to peg for when Bridges is fully developed. And each time they open a new store, we're seeing more and more traffic increases, and it's becoming increasingly dangerous to get out of Holloway. So I'd like you guys to consider also any right-of-way necessary to do a roundabout eventually during the widening, and that'll be done during design, which is seemingly so far off, but we want to make sure that those setbacks and any public use right-of-way sidewalks and so forth consider potentially losing a piece of the corners if is necessary, but we wouldn't know that until design phase. Okay, so that's the only commentary I had. I just don't feel that you should be voting for the comprehensive or the rezone right now. We don't know what you want to put there, or the developer wants to put there. Thank you.
thank you. Next individual, please, name and address.
Connie Snow, 426 Chase Marion Way, McDonough, Georgia, 30253. To start off with, I do have a copy of Resolution 24189, which was listed on the City of Stockbridge website that I pulled off. You guys said you didn't have a copy. Does
Well, I
anybody?
didn't have a copy of it handy, at least I don't know that. I don't realize I have it. I'll give that to the clerk.
It is a formal copy, by the
you-
way.
Okay, you can give it to the clerk.
I'm obviously against all of these, against the annexations and the changes in the zoning and whatnot. I second everything that Ann says, and I'm also speaking on behalf of all the residents in the Eagles Crest subdivision off of Tunis Road, Meadowbrook, and Holloway. Going back to what Ann said, we don't even know what's planned there. There's about 5 homes that are on Holloway that this development, whatever it's going to be planned is going to be damaging to them. This is a public safety nightmare for us. I've mentioned multiple times that this is in walking distance of 3 schools, 3 public schools, a daycare, and a private school. In all honesty, I thought SB 612 was given to Stockbridge the ability to build and improve on a city, but instead has been used as a legal tool for hostile annexations, leaving my area vulnerable to having our livelihood crushed through the disintegration of our property values, as well as creating a public safety and welfare concern. All of this development is going to strain our water and our sewer systems, which is evident based on the last special called meeting last month for Henry County. Our water authority is struggling to keep up. We have over 15 schools failing. Our roads are not ready. Crime is skyrocketing. And this whole thing is going to be a public safety nightmare for us in that area. What I don't understand is why the county was all for trying to reverse these 2.6 acres. I think it's kind of like we've become a ping pong ball in this whole game of annexations thanks to SB 612. I'm not sure what the ultimate outcome is, but I hope today that you guys do not approve this, because at some point you have to give us citizens a chance to recover from what's going to happen to us before you keep approving stuff. With that being said, that's all I have to say tonight.
Thank you.
Mayor Ford?
Yes, ma'am.
Just for clarification, the resolution number 24-189 is not a city resolution, it is a county resolution, just for the record.
Yeah, I figured. Thank you. Appreciate it.
My name is Nathan McGarity. My residential address is 194 Lake Ridge Drive, Noonan, Georgia. My business address is 70 Macon Street, McDonough, Georgia. I grew up in Henry County. Just to address some of the comments, the racetrack, we sold that piece to the racetrack, and it was the first site to go into the Henry County corridor overlay. So I do support the extension of the sidewalks, the landscaping along Patrick Henry Parkway. We do not have a current plan for the use of C2. We originally applied for a C3, but reduced it to C2. We don't know what in use it will be, but we do know that it is a preparatory zoning, and we do believe in the vision that Stockbridge has. We tried to participate with the city, with Henry County in their comprehensive plan, and their option was to leave it as a residential. The Meadowbrook subdivision that was originally put in place back in the 1950s was the first subdivision in Henry County. Since that time, 82 properties of the county, of that subdivision, have been zoned to commercial by the county. So if I were to show a visual of this, what you would see, and I apologize, I don't know that we have a projector, but what you would see is the original subdivision plat.
Do you have that electronically to show? It's awfully difficult to see it from like that, though. I don't know, Ryan, do you have anything like that at all? Okay.
Well, I'll give a verbal description of it, but what you would see is the original 500 or so lot subdivision, and then you would see that the frontage along Jodico Road and a lot of the frontage along Holloway Road has been zoned to commercial. We weren't successful with working through the process of the comprehensive plan vision with the county. We attended the meetings as the public was invited to do, but we saw that the city of Stockbridge had an alternate vision, that it was based on a zoning platform that elevated and expedited a certain style of development. And as you'll see on the north side, if you look at any interchange, this distance away from the interstate, you're going to see large, very prominent style. If you're looking at Alpharetta, Sandy Springs, this is not an uncommon zoning classification for property this close. As a residential development, a lot of the taxable basis where such a heavy retail component could be placed, and it would be a less burden on traffic infrastructure as well, because you can get off the interstate, attend your restaurants, your hotel. It opens up a lot of opportunities. So I apologize that this is a kind of a forward thinking, but we see that that's occurring on the west side with the Patrick Henry Parkway and the overlay. But we definitely do support the design style that the racetrack gas station incorporated, and I'll leave it any other time for additional comments.
Thank you for that. Everybody's, go ahead, Ms. Barrett.
Yeah, I know we don't have any current plans for it, but I do echo the sentiments that is a traffic nightmare, having the children who've gone to Eagles Landing Middle and high school, trying to navigate getting in there and out of there in the mornings. If you've had to do it, you dread it. And if we can put any type of consolation in that to assist and alleviate that going forward, because it's already a problem now. It really is. And like I said, I've had the traffic night. It takes literally 20 to 30 minutes to get through there on the school mornings, as well as in the evenings, going to football games, all of that. That is a very, very difficult pathway to tread, and we gotta be forward thinking about it. We gotta start thinking about it now before the end. That's my comment.
If I may.
Go ahead.
And this is just a comment. Oftentimes I hear, I've heard it in I don't want to call it a debate, a forum with the panel, or I've heard it from constituents, I've heard it from other elected officials. People annex to get business done, but they're not annexing because it's easier to build here. Let me make it quite clear that we have standards, and we hear it all the time. That's one of the main excuses that is made. Oh, they want to come into Stockbridge, they're annexing to Stockbridge because Stockbridge is less stringent. That is so far beyond the truth. We're actually narrowly tailored. We're actually more stringent. We actually have more codes. We actually require, brick facades. We require certain things, a certain look, certain standards. And so I wanted to start dispelling that rumor every single chance I get, because I hear it all the time that businesses are annexing into Stockbridge because Stockbridge will just let you build anything. And that is so far from the truth. You're coming here and we require 10-foot sidewalks. You come here and we require that it's all brick. We come here and we look at every single detail. I mean, it takes us time after time, and all block cameras when you enter and egress and degress. So we have our own standards and we've added to them, and they're definitely stricter. They're either matching Henry County or they're definitely stricter. And I want us to start letting people know that. It's important to get that out because we're getting negative feedback, and it's just simply not true.
So if there are no other comments, council, I need a motion to accept and approve.
So moved.
Okay.
With the
all the
conditions that I mentioned and the staff conditions.
Okay, got it. Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay. All in favor, please indicate. It's a unanimous decision. Fantastic. Mr. McGarity, congratulations to you, sir. Okay. All right, so